So let's talk about law of attraction and how to truly manifest your desire. Oftentimes we overlook of what we want versus what we need. Sometimes what you need is what you want. And a lot of times what we need and what we want is not exactly what we need and what we want, if it makes sense. There will be signs that will protect you from your intentions to it. Something is going to stop you from manifesting that because it might not be fully understood or fully developed within your heart space. Sometimes you have to take your intentions within all of your chakras to see if they all will come out with the same results or wanting the same thing and needing the same thing. So a lot of times we are listening to ego instead of spirit to see what we want versus what we need. So say you trying to attract the perfect lover or the perfect male, the perfect sis, right? Think of how you truly would treat somebody and think of how you want to be treated. If you know you're not treating somebody like fairly, the universe is going to give you a lesson to how to treat somebody fairly. If you're not loving yourself, the universe is going to give you somebody to show you why it's worth loving yourself. It might not be the exact form thought you might think of. No, it can be in cases, but in most cases, a lot of us, when we want somebody to love us and we're not loving ourselves, the universe will give you somebody like a life lesson karma of to show you your value and show you what you want versus what you need. So sometimes you have to have both good intentions to what you want and need. You need both. You need in order to create a desire. So thoughts really do matter. The focus on how you treat others and how you treat yourself. And the only way is to be self-aware of this is to actually acknowledge yourself and acknowledge how you treat others and let other people call you out. A lot of us is not perfect. We are not perfect at all. But if you want a perfect manifestation or a perfect desire to come true, you have to be that representation of that perfect desire that you want fulfilled and to come true. And it's better said than done. It's hard. Sometimes it might take years for a manifestation to pop into places because, you know, your ancestors are telling you that you haven't really fully done the work just as yet. So the best advice to do is just clear your system, clear your thoughts, and reprogram your old version self with the new version of you, and start paying attention of how you react also. Not everything is needed for a reaction. Say you have an ex-lover, right, who's constantly picking on you about the things you've done in your past, but you know you made amends with your past, but there's another version of you that's not fully healed from that past. So that past version of you is going to constantly come up until you address it. Until you address it with your ex-partner or your partner in general or anybody, whether it's family, and somebody is constantly reminding you about your past and you know you made amends, it's just they're enlightening you to have an idea that you're still doing these exact same thing, the exact same trait. Maybe the universe is telling you to let go of that type of version of you, or come to an agreement that, hey, this is what we are, and I know that I fucked up, and I'm sorry. That's the hard time we have as a human, as whole, as spirit, is our pride be too big for our mouth, like our pride be too big for our egos or our spirit. And it's like we don't know how to apologize correctly. Even if you're defending yourself, it's learn to defend yourself correctly. Learn to protect yourself correctly without getting hurt, without actually damaging your soul. But if you know, have you noticed when you do defend yourself from others, you you're not suffering. You're not waking up suffering. You're not constantly tossing and turning in the middle of the night. Your spirit will tell you that we ascend. We already learned from the lesson. We already learned from this chaos. We know that we created the chaos, so we know how to actually manifest ourselves out of the chaos. So manifesting comes a long way. It starts with visualizing, and then it becomes a form of thought. Thought and visualizes are two separate things. If you can't see the visualize, then you can hear the thought of the visualization. And then when you start to see the visual, that's when you know you can manifest. That's when you know you can move your outcome and how you want it to be. That's the easiest way, is to acknowledge.